Hello everyone, this is Kino Darkplace and this is the zoo location and inventory review for 24th of October till November 1st. So first things first, zoo is gonna be located in the Watcher's Grave in Nessus. Just climb up the tree and let's see what zoo has brought us this week. The first weapon is gonna be the Queen Breaker. It is a really bad linear fusion rifle. It has two sights. It's just low zoom and for a longer range. So if you do not have the legendary shards, do not pick this one up. This is a really bad linear fusion rifle. Let's move on to the next one. It's the Carapace Sting Gauntlet for the Hunters. 64 overall stats with 20 mobility and a bit of strength spike with a bit of resilience as well. What this gauntlet does is just gives you smoke bomb when you have a full melee and you hit someone with it. So when you have full melee charge, if you hit someone with it, it gives you a smoke bomb. It has a few builds, like when you use the smoke bomb you go invisible, and when you use your melee as well, you also go invisible. So pick this one up if you do not have it. Let's move on to the next one. Is the feedback fence. The 65 is a high stats, but not that spiky on where you want it. You would ideally want resilience, intellect, or discipline with strength, with a bit of strength as well. This is not a bad roll, but not that great either. What this does is just stores the melee damage you dealt and the melee damage you take. You also take reduced melee damage from enemies as well. So this is an okay gauntlet for the Titans, so pick this one up if you do not have it. If you have a better roll, you can just skip it. Let's move on to the third exotic armor. It's the Getaway Artist Gauntlet for the Warlock. This is a really good gauntlet because it creates Arc Soul by consuming a grenade. And I think it's the duration of the Arc Soul is longer as well. So 63 overall stats with a lot of strength and a bit of mobility and resilience. A very less amount of recovery. You would ideally want recovery and discipline on this one, but well, if you do not have a good one, you can pick this one up. But if you have a better one, just skip this one. It's not worth the pickup. So let's move on to the legendary weapons for this week. The first one is gonna be Whispering Slab with Killing Wind and Demolitionist. It's an average roll. You would ideally want something like Archer's Tempo. So if you do not have a Whispering Slab, you can pick this one up. But if you have something better, you can just skip this one. Let's move on to the next weapon. It's the Wolfstone Draw. The Dragonfly is kind of nice, but the Impulse Amplifier is kind of meh. So only pick this one up if you do not have any copies of it. So let's move on to the next one. It's the Dire Promise Hand Cannon. It's a really good hand cannon, but it has auto loading and osmosis. Not that a good roll. So if you do not have any copy of it, you can pick it up. But if you have any copy, you can just skip this one. Not a good roll on the Dire Promise. Let's move on to the ikelos sniper rifle. This is a really good sniper rifle as well, and it has feeding frenzy and high impact reserves. You can use this in PvE. It's not a good roll for PvP. You'd ideally want something like snapshot on PvP, but it's okay if you're gonna use it for PvE. And this can even make war mine cells as well. So every ikelos and seraph can make war mine cells. So if you're thinking of making a war mine build, definitely pick this one up. Let's move on to the next sniper rifle, the Far Future Surplus and Wellspring. It's not that great, but not that bad as well. This is more of a PvE role, but yeah, it's not that good. You can just skip this one. Let's move on to the sword. It's the Honor Chess with Relentless Strike and Engarde. It's uh, it's not that great as well. You would ideally want something for the ammo economy. So Hungry Edge. This has Hungry Edge, so this one is a good one. but there are more better swords you can use, like the Fallen Guillotine, and as for the exotic, you can always use the Lament. So this is just not that great of a sword right now. So let's move on to the final weapon, final legendary weapon for the week. It's gonna be Nightwash, having Outlaw and Moving Target. Outlaw and Moving Target. Moving Target is okay, but Outlaw is okay as well. It does have range masterwork, but you just get the god roll for doing the first quest for the starter's quest. What is that called? For the Sean, yeah, for the Sean quest. So the first quest, they give you a god roll Nightwatch. So if you threw it away, well, you're just gonna need to pick this one up. But if you have that one, you can just skip this one. Not that big of a deal. So yeah, let's move on to the next weapons for today. The Hawkmoon. Oh, Eye of the Storm. Eye of the Storm is a good one, although I would ideally want opening shot because it gives more range. The weapon becomes more accurate when your health goes lower, so it is an okay roll, but not the god roll I would want. So only pick this one up if you do not have a Hawkmoon. But if you have something, if you have another Hawkmoon, you can just use it. This one is not that good of a roll. Only the Eye of the Storm is better. So yeah, let's move on to the next one, DMT. Ooh, it's the Vorpal web. It's the Vorpal, and it has Accurized Round as well. This is a really good one. Pick this one up if you do not have a good DMT. Like I would even say pick this one up if you have a DMT with a bad roll. This is a really good roll. Although polygonal rifling is, it's just this one that is the odd man out. So Accurized Rounds, Vorpal, it is a really good weapon. So pick this one up if you do not have it. So yeah, that's it for the weapons. Let's move on to the armor sets for the Warlock. The first one is gonna be Holdfast Gloves, the Gauntlets. 63 overall stat. It is a good total stat, but not that spiky. I would ideally just skip this one because you would ideally want something like Recovery and Discipline on Warlock. Let's move on to the next one. Is the Holdfast Robes, the chest armor. 62. Again, a bit on the high side of the total stats, but not that much spike on what you want. You ideally want Recovery and Discipline. It does have Recovery, although too less of a discipline for me to consider. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. Is the helmet, and 57 total stats. It's a bit on the low side, so just skip this one, and not good spike as well because it has strength spike. You would not want strength on warlocks, so yeah, just skip this one. Do not get this one. Let's move on to the next and the final armor for the warlock. It's the Holdfast Boot, the leg armor. 59. Again, a really low stat. I would not pick up something lower than 60, but it does have a really good resilience spike. This is resilience and discipline. This is a really good spiky one. If you are a new player and if you do not have a good leg armor, you get this one. As of right now, the resilience is a really good stat, so it is a really good PvE stat. So pick this one up if you do not have a good leg armor. So that's it for the warlocks. Let's move on to the titans. Okay, so now we're back with the titan. Let's see what armor pieces Zur has for the titans this week. Okay, so the first one is gonna be, wow, that is a really good overall stat with a really good spike as well. 62 overall stats with recovery and strength spike, 22 on both. Yeah, this is a really good armor set. This is the really good gauntlet. So if you are a new player, pick this one up, and if you do not have a good arm as well, you can pick this one up as well. This is a really good one, although I would like something like resilience instead of recovery, but it does have a good amount of strength, so pick this one up if you do not have a good gauntlet. Let's move on to the chest armor. 59 overall stats, not that good, and even the spikes are not that good, so yeah, just skip this one. This is not a good one. You will get a better armor piece. This is just bad. And let's move on to the helmet. 63, a good overall stat, but not that spiky in any kind of single stat. So yeah, this is not a good one as well. Just skip this one. Not that much spiky. So let's move on to the next one. It's the 64 overall stat, but the leg armor with mobility. If you are building a Titan for mobility, then you probably use this, but I don't think I would ever use this because too much mobility. Although the 64 overall stat is really good. Yeah, I will just skip this one because it's not any good. Yeah, just skip this one. So that's all for the Titans this week. Let's move on to the last class of the day. It's gonna be the Hunters. Okay, now we're back with the Hunters. Let's see what Zur has for the Hunters this week. So the first arm is gonna be the Gauntlet. So 62 overall stats with a good mobility spike and discipline spike. This is a really good gauntlet because hunters need the mobility. So yeah, pick this one up if you are a new player and if you do not have a good gauntlet. Let's move on to the next one. It's the chest armor. 62 overall stat again, but this time it's a bit on the lower side of spiking. So 13, 16, 14 and 15. Although the overall stat is good, if you do not have a better chest piece, then only pick this one up. If you have something better, you can just skip this one because it's not that spiky. So let's move on to the helmets. It's gonna be 64 overall stats. Wow. And with a resilience and intellect spike, 20 and 23. This is a really good armor actually for the hunters. Yeah, and if you put something like the resilience mod, you can get 30 resilience with 23 intellect. Although I would want something a bit on the discipline. The discipline is just too low. But this is a really good one. Really good helmet. Pick this one up if you're a new player and if you do not have a good helmet. So let's move on to the final armor for the day. It's gonna be leg armor. Wow. Hunters got everything good this week because 62, 62, 64 and 64. 64 overall stats on the leg armor with strength spike and a bit of recovery. This is a really good spike as well because hunters need strength for the melee as well. So if you do not have a better leg armor, pick this one up. If you do have one, although I would ideally use something like Stompies or Frosties, but this one is a good one as well. So only pick this one up if you do not have a better leg armor. So that's it for today, and that's everything for Zur this week. So as always, pick up whatever you do not have, and if you like the video, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I'll be putting out videos next week as well, and I do put out 801 videos as well, so give that a watch as well. So yeah, that's all for today. See you guys later. Peace.